So I like to talk about things, and I like to talk about things that other people are interested in talking about, and a lot of people are interested in talking about the Hunger Games, and so I have to always tell people that I have read the first book and I have watched the first movie, and that is enough for me. My reasons are twofold. On a thematic level, I feel like the first novel says everything that it needs to about the complicit nature of violence and participating in that as an observer, especially with regards to sport. And on a plot level, I think that the plot was not strong enough to interest me in its continuation. I feel like the ending of the first novel satisfied that plot perfectly well, and I don't need any more. Part of this is because I can see, just having read the first novel, without having anything spoiled for me, I could see that the Peeta situation was going to change. And I don't like that. I don't want Peeta to get the girl. I don't want him to continue to persist and eventually, like, wear her down or, like, wait around for her to have a change of feelings. I don't like that. I don't think it's a good narrative to sell young people. But earlier today I was discussing that with one of my friends, and he came up with some examples of things that really show that it's a gray area that I hadn't considered it to be. His big case in point was Steve Urkel and Laura Winslow on Family Matters. And this is maybe not the best example because it's not an issue that's dealt with seriously, because it's a sitcom from the 90s, but essentially Steve Urkel persisted and persisted and persisted, and Laura said many times, "I'm not interested, I'm never gonna be interested." What she didn't do was sit him down ever, and no one in the cast ever sat him down and said, "Listen, you're making Laura uncomfortable. This behavior has got to stop." Instead, it was treated with an eye roll, and that's a real thing that happens. There are people who want to be pursued that way, who are playing hard to get. There are people who find that kind of persistence romantic. And I'm not one of those people, and I am not from a family that values that kind of thing. But I recognize that there are people who want that. I still feel like people who want that are not necessarily worth your time, and if they say no, you should move on. But there are people who want that. So this thing that I've considered for many years to be just a total black and white situation where someone says no and you completely stop trying because they said no, it's actually gray. I still think that the best option is just to cut your losses, is just to stop the pursuit as soon as there's friction, because I think that it's a slippery slope. It could lead to harassment at the bare minimum, and all kinds of other things, up to and including stalking and rape, and all kinds of awfulness that comes from not having the consent of the person whom you're pursuing. I hate that there's grayness. I hate these blurred lines. And I think that you should too. But the way that you can make the lines less blurred is to just stop. I think that's for the best. And I will see you later.